My name is Hyun Kim, and it's great honor to meet you. And when I ask my friend what they think of unification, they often think negatively about it, or in extreme cases, they don't need it. And not only my friend, but also many people have a negative view of unification. So under these circumstances, is unification necessary between South and North Korea? And I want to know it through the German cases.
Okay, that's also a difficult question for me to answer as an outsider, because at the end of the day, it's what Korean people want. So I know that the example of German unification is often mentioned. Not necessarily as a model, but because everybody feels that lessons can be learned from the actual process, and I'm sure it can. But lessons learned is not quite the same thing as taking that precedent and trying to apply it to the Korean Peninsula. Because in fact, the situation that prevailed, in 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell, thus paving the grounds for the unification of Germany, was very different from what you have here. I mean, there are similarities, like the fact that even at the time, East and West Germany were talking about eventually unifying the country in the same way that North and South Korea are talking about it. But situation that prevailed then is very different from the situation that prevails now. That's the first thing. I think the world was a very different place then. And also what we saw was basically the collapse of the Soviet Union. And through the collapse of the Soviet Union, what we saw in Europe was, as you know, Europe, it was not just Germany that was divided into two parts, but Europe itself was divided into two parts, where you have Western Europe that was under the influence, to put it mildly, the influence of the United States. And then, there again, to use another euphemism, you had Eastern Europe that was under the influence of the Soviet Union. So when the Soviet Union collapsed, if you like, what we saw was a possibility for Europe itself to be reunified. So I think that's the first difference that you will not see in the region, because the situation is very, very different in that. Okay, so you might argue that South Korea is under the influence of the US, with a various security agreements with the US. North Korea is a little bit more difficult. I know that they have an agreement with China, but the relations between North Korea and China is very different from the relations that Eastern Europe had with the Soviet Union. The other aspect I want to mention as well, so that in a way might make it a bit more difficult to see unification of the Korean Peninsula. And the other thing is, if you look at what happened after the unification of Germany, it was a very costly and it was a very difficult process. Because we realized that there were many differences between East and West Germany. Situation on the Korean Peninsula is even more, the gap is even greater between North Korea and South Korea. I mean, economic gap, but also, political, clearly, but also I expect, after a while, you also end up with cultural differences where people might speak the same language, but they don't necessarily understand each other in the way that you would expect them to understand each other. So I don't know whether it's true or not, but this is something that you need to bear in mind. But German unification was facilitated again by the fact that it was part of this bigger entity called the European Union. So West Germany had to finance, the reconstruction of East Germany, but they did it also in a bigger context of the EU, which is something else that you do not have in this region. So my take is, and this is my personal opinion, unification, Korean unification, will be a very difficult and lengthy process. And I think at this stage, the idea to have a rapprochement, which is basically what President Moon is doing, is a very good idea. You need to reestablish regular contacts to promote understanding, to work on joint projects. And I think unification, especially at this stage, doesn't have to be like the end game of what is actually happening. It's quite clear that the end game is peace and security on the Korean Peninsula, and I think it's very important to focus on this. And by way of conclusion, I want to say that I'm really hoping that very soon, you will be able to have more contacts between North Koreans and South Koreans, because that's another difference between the situation that prevailed in Germany. There were a lot more contacts between East Germans and West Germans. You're talking about family reunions. That was a lot more common. I had some German friends living in the West, and they had relatives in the East, and they would go and spend their summer holidays, for example, with their relatives in the East. So you had a lot more contacts. Here, part of the problem is that family reunions are very few and far between. You're talking about reunions between all the members of society. So I really hope that somehow you find a way of encouraging more contacts between young people in North and South, but clearly it's going to be very difficult. But that, for me, that is the way forward that could ultimately pave the way to unification.
Thank you for answering.